It's the holidays, and it's time to slow down. I couldn't help it, I'm sorry.
I just said, yes, man, right away, anything.
Alright, so today we are going to do a quick one. It's called Sloe Gin. This is a common holiday drink that they do over in the UK. There's a berry called the sloe, and it's S-L-O-E, and it's kind of like a plum, but they're really small and very, very tart. You know, if you look on Wikipedia under sloes, it says it's kind of like a damson. What the f is a damson? I don't have those over here. Technically, we do have sloes that grow in the eastern part of the United States and in the north. Damn if I'd be able to find them. But I really wanted to try this out because I've heard great things. So I got some dehydrated sloes. I know, to all my UK viewers, sacrilege. Can't help it, don't have them. If you're doing this with fresh fruit, you picked them all off a hedgerow on a lane in your shire. Sorry. I'm sorry. Then you've got an easy time of it. It's 500 grams of sloes, 1 liter of gin, and 250 grams of sugar. Since we don't have the fresh sloes here, and I just had to get these little dehydrated guys on Amazon, link down in the video description, we have a little bit different process to do. So if you're doing it from fresh, the best advice is to freeze them because it's going to pop the skins and pop all the cell walls in the fruit so that it releases all the juice and you get all that good flavor. This is not a fermentation, this is just a maceration, but you still want to pop those open. Now if you're in an area that grows wild plums that are of the smaller tart variety, then go ahead and use them because you're going to get a very similar result. But they do need to be tart, not super sweet. These dried sloes, when you smell them, they don't smell as much like dried fruit as they do like tea, like a really good herbal fruity tea. They've got such an interesting aroma to them that I don't think it's going to make anything like what you would expect. These guys are interesting. Because of this kind of herbal fruity aroma, I think it's going to pair really well with gin, and that's why I think people do it. So if you're using the dried sloes, the first thing you need to do is rehydrate them. Why can't I just rehydrate them in the gin? Because this isn't supposed to be gin strength. It's not supposed to be 40 to 45% ABV by the time you drink it. It's supposed to be closer to a liqueur. All that juice is going to help to dilute the alcohol to make it more of an enjoyable holiday sipper, not something that you want to just kind of get blasted on. Because if you do, with all that sugar in there, probably going to have a bad time. So we're going to rehydrate these, and the water that we're using is going to stay with those sloes and then get added with the gin and the sugar. So eventually your ABV is going to be about correct. Now, I can't say that dried sloes is going to give you the same thing as fresh sloes because flavors do change in the drying process. But I still think it's going to be quite delicious. So here's all you do to rehydrate your sloes. You're going to drop them into a big jar, get some water boiling, and then pour in enough to just barely come up to the top of those sloes. And then cover it up and let it sit for 24 hours. After that cools down, if you want to try and get more water to absorb in there, you can heat up some more water, turn it off, and then put your jar down into that pan of water and just let it sit. So here's what I've got after I actually let mine sit for 2 days, and you know, I had the water in there to just about here, and you can kind of see the liquid level. I've still got some free liquid in there, but the sloes have plumped up pretty good. Because these have been dried, I think we're not going to get the rich, deep purple that you get when you're using fresh fruit, but I think we're going to get a good flavor. All right, nothing left to do except add our sugar and our gin. So 250 grams of sugar and 1 liter of gin. And mine is 45% ABV. Use what you got. Alright, so now we're just going to set it on a shelf in a cabinet for about a month or so, and for the first week you want to give it a good shake every day so that it gets nice and mixed up and so that you get that sugar dissolved. And after about a week, just give it a shake once a week. This stuff will generally sit for 1 to 3 months. I'm gonna save it till Christmas or New Year's, and that's it. So after it's been sitting and infusing for however long you're gonna do it, a month or 2 or 3, then you're just gonna strain it out and bottle it. And that's it. It'll store in the cabinet, it'll store in the fridge, whatever you wanna do. You can already see it's a little like ruby tea colored, and that's just because the fruit's been dried, it's not fresh. It's just not gonna be quite as pretty as if we made it with the fresh fruit and the anthocyanins in the skin that haven't oxidized. If you are making this from fresh fruit, you can always put a little tiny pinch, like 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1/16 of a teaspoon of citric acid in there, and that'll help to keep the color lasting even longer. So I'm only gonna let mine sit for about a week just because I gotta get this video out, and also I really wanna know what it's gonna taste like. So, but by all accounts, the longer you let this sit, the better. We'll see you in a week. All right, here we go. Sloe Gin, it's ready to go. I let it sit on the sloes for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. Now the color is really good. I think on camera it looks a little brownish. The most important thing to me is, does this taste good? I know it's not gonna taste the same as if these were fresh sloes, but is it gonna be delicious or is it gonna suck? So you saw that I filtered it, and it was fairly cloudy when it went in the bottle, and now it's cleared. All the this is mostly pectin down here in the bottom, that little cloudy layer. And if you want, you can decant this off into another bottle and try to leave as much of that behind as possible, and do that a couple times, or even filter it with some really high micron filters. But I'm not really worried about it because it's not going to affect the taste. So before we give this a taste, I got to thank all of my Patreons. It's the end of the year, and I got to thank you guys for a whole year of keeping my ass above water. All of you guys down here, thank you so much for supporting the channel, for giving me ideas, feedback, and just keeping me and keeping me going. Because as always, you guys are keeping my lights on. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year. All right, so I ended up with this full bottle and a little tiny bottle, and you can see the separation in this one as well. So yeah, it's got a great color on it, but it's a lot more kind of tawny and ruby than it is red or purple. Yeah, I'm getting kind of a fruity gin. Holy shit. That is freaking delicious. Wow. I am struggling to find words to explain how delicious this is. Now, if you're not into liqueurs and cordials and stuff like that, this isn't going to be for you. If you want to get the flavors but none of the sweetness, just do it without sugar. But to me, the sugar really brings out the fruit character, because I'm getting the flavor of the peel of those little plums, those little sloes, and it's mouth-watering. I mean, legit mouth-watering. That is delicious. That is delicious. Okay, so here's what I need. If you have a place for me to be able to buy frozen sloes or fresh sloes and get them shipped, which the shipping would probably be out of my budget, but frozen sloes, that would be really cool, because I'd love to try this back to back, to make one with the frozen sloes so that they're fresh versus this, because this does have, I don't want to say raisin, but dehydrated fruit. You can tell that it's dehydrated fruit. Like if I gave this to someone who had had fresh Sloe Gin before, they would probably be able to tell. I'm just guessing. To my palate, I can pick up there's some dehydrated, but it's still so freaking good. I can see why this is something you would want to do every single year. Now, if I had friends that you know, I could talk to or drink, I don't know why I'm doing air quotes. I don't have friends. I have you guys, and I have you guys. But you're not here, so I can't share this with you. This is definitely something that I think, because of the fruitiness and the botanicals in the gin, it feels like a Christmas drink. It really does. And I may do a different gin in the future, hypothetically of course, that has a little bit more of the warming aromatics like cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff like that, to blend even more with this flavor. The gin recipes I've handled have been more citrus forward, and I think that goes really well with this. But I think if you bumped up some of the warming spices in your botanicals, you would get an even better blend. Man, I really want to drink a lot of this. That's probably not good. Yeah, so you need to do this. Again, down in the video description, I've got the Amazon link for the dried sloes. Also, my wife got me the coolest shirt for Christmas. This one, and it's not a sponsored item or anything like that, but she got it on Amazon. So I'm going to throw the Amazon link down in the video description too. And if you like it, stick it in the closet and wear it next year when you're handing out Christmas gifts, because that's what I'm going to do. This will probably be the longest lived shirt that I have. I'll have it in 20 years because it's only going to get worn a couple times a year. So yeah, that's it for this video. I've got several more coming up. Obviously not this year, but in a week or two I should have another one coming up. I've got a really cool rum and a whiskey coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned to the channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you can get notified when I post new content, and make sure you hit the little bell icon next to it. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, because it really helps out the metrics for the channel. And if you have any comments, go ahead and post them down in the comments section down below. All right, so that's it. Happy New Year. Talk at you later.